G'day there, this is Holy Critics signing in once again. And today I wanted to cover quite a controversial issue which has cropped up in the past month or so regarding the release of a new Netflix, what do I call it, dramatization called Cuties. As you can see on screen, I've got the trailer here. And it piqued my interest, not because I'm particularly interested in the content of the show. I think it's highly disturbing, as I'll get into in a couple of minutes. But it's the amount of backlash it's received. As you can see on screen here, it's received one of the highest thumbs down I've ever seen of any YouTube video. 2.1 million people were incensed by the trailer for this movie. I'm not going to show it. I recommend you watch it if you want to see what the controversy is all about. But just yesterday, the issue escalated to an even greater degree because a grand jury in East Texas indicted Netflix, essentially for the depiction of children in the show. And if you didn't know, the show is based around, it's set in France, and it's obviously foreign language, but it's about a troupe of young girls that want to do all sorts of salacious things against the wishes of their parents. It's kind of like a youthful rebellion, I guess the context of the show is. And it has not gone down well in the more Bible Belt conservative states of the United States. And all these news articles have been cropping up in my feed, as you can see: Variety, Rolling Stone. Of course, that's more of a left-wing interpretation of the event. But all over, I've just been bombarded with all this information. And I thought I'd just read into it and maybe get your thoughts on it, because I think it's emblematic of the times we live in, that Hollywood, which has always sexualized children, let's be honest, but the extent to which it has devolved, the slippery slope, if you can call it that, has just become so in your face unacceptable that children could be exploited for entertainment in this particular way. I'm surprised that that Netflix has been so bold as to publish this, release it, expecting a positive feedback, but no, because we still have moral standards in society. I guess they jump the gun there and assume that we all just accept children scantily clad shaking, their booties, which is just disgusting. I didn't want to watch the trailer, but I'll just read this article and get your opinion at the end. So, a grand jury in Tyler County accused Netflix, which has been streaming the award-winning French film Cuties, of promoting lewd visual material depicting a child, prosecutors said. It's been maligned by some as child exploitation and defended by others as a complex coming-of-age story about pre-adolescent girls. Netflix was served with a summons last week informing it that grand jurors in Tyler County, which consists of about 21,000 people, quite small, in northeast of Houston, have indicted the company for the promotion of lewd visual material depicting a child. County prosecutors said the charge was based on a Texas law that makes it illegal to knowingly promote material that depicts the genitals and pubic area of children, clothed or partially clothed, which appeals to the prurient, haven't heard that word in a while, interest in sex and has no serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. I'm actually surprised that that's kind of restricted to Texas law. You think that would be more of an overarching law over, in America. I mean, this shouldn't be acceptable in any part of America, let alone a more conservative state like Texas. The legislators of this state believe promoting certain lewd material of children has destructive consequences, according to the prosecutor Lucas Babin. If such material is distributed on a grand scale, isn't the need to prosecute more, not less? Isn't the need to prosecute more, not less? Mr. Babin, who said he watched the film, said it was his job to make calls every day on how to keep our communities safe. The indictment said that Reed Hastings and Ted Sarantos, the chief executives of Netflix, had recklessly tolerated the dissemination of the film. Netflix said in a statement that the company stands by the film. In quotes, Cuties is a social documentary against the sexualization of young children. This charge is without merit. Wait, that's like backwards logic, isn't it? By showing children and depicting them this way, somehow that is against. It's what, a cautionary tale? I'm confused by that statement. I don't know what that means. We'll call that inversion of reality. Going on, it was not immediately clear what penalties Mr. Babin's office was seeking in its case with Netflix. Its statement described the charge as a state jail felony. Any legal buffs in the comments, please explain what state jail felony is. What, they're going to arrest the executives? That would be that would be interesting if that ever happened. I mean, you never see big corporates get taken down for this type of stuff. But anyway, the film, which was released as Mignones in France, won a directing award from the Sundance Institute in February, has been well received by many critics and created little controversy when it was released in theaters in France. Well, what do you expect? France is already in the proverbial toilet. That's probably the worst place on earth for the children. I mean, look at the fashion industry and those beauty pageants. I mean, it's all about exploitation, and France seems to be the epicenter of that. So just because there's no controversy there doesn't mean what was on film acceptable in any way. But in the United States, Republican lawmakers like Senator Ted Cruz of Texas have called for the Department of Justice to investigate the film. The hashtag cancel Netflix has trended on Twitter, with parents, politicians, and conspiracy theorists calling on the streaming service to remove the film. Wait, they haven't actually removed it yet. Just for damage control purposes. You'd think they'd just remove it, wouldn't you? The film has also been incorporated into the baseless, all right, they've already decided, QAnon conspiracy theory that alleges falsely that top Democrats and celebrities are behind a global trafficking ring. Okay. I mean, that does happen. It's possible. I haven't explored the extent of that, so I won't comment any further, but the district attorney's father has called on Attorney General William Barr to bring charges against Netflix. He said the film meets the US legal definition of child pornography. Whoa, that's about as serious as it gets, guys. Netflix apologized for the artwork it created to market Cuties after it. Many criticized it for inappropriately sexualizing the film's young stars. And just as a synopsis, the 11-year-old girl named Amy, I guess she's the lead character, lives with her family, who are observant Muslims from Senegal in a poor suburb of Paris. At home, the girl tries to please her mother, but soon becomes transfixed by a group of girls who have their own dance troupe, and soon joins them in defiance of her family's strict rules. Well, I wouldn't even call that strict. If a mother says, "I don't want my daughter dancing in front of strangers for a living," I think that's probably good parenting, not over the top parenting, not militant parenting. I'd say it's about the right approach. You know, that's the balanced approach. So yeah, that. I mean, I think we should go after shows like this. I mean, if we can't protect children, even child actors who have to act out these scenes, then where do we set the metrics? Where do we set the boundary in terms of exploitation? I mean, they're not 18. They're not consenting adults. Why are they being depicted in this way? I think the show should be cancelled myself. I just don't think it's appropriate. But tell me your thoughts in the comments below, guys. I know I've got a more conservative audience, so be interesting to hear any ulterior perspective. Maybe there is artistic merit, but I personally think that it's wading too deep into salacious materials that should be more heavily censored when it comes to children. That's all I got to say on the issue, guys. Please drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But for now, this is Holy Critic signing out.